Tennessee, Ohio State. Who you picking? You guys know who I'm picking. Who you picking? Tennessee wins this game if fill in the blank. It's Tennessee, Ohio State. The college football playoffs are here. It's your Friday Locked On Vols.
You are Locked On Vols, your daily podcast on the Tennessee Volunteers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, everybody? Welcome into it, your unofficial start to your weekend tailgate and your college football playoff tailgate. It's what we like to call Locked On Vols. It's brought to you in part by our friends over at Game Time here today, where you can download the Game Time app. You can create an account, use the promo code Locked On College for $20 off your first purchase. And okay, so here we go. Tennessee, Ohio State, it starts tomorrow. Two teams that don't play each other very often, hardly at all. We know that. Maybe that's going to change in the conference expansion and college football playoff era, the 12 teams. I mean, here we are, year number one, and Tennessee and Ohio State are going to play each other. But listen, I mean, I was raised to hate Ohio State, right? I mean, I was raised here in an East Tennessee household. My dad's a big-time Tennessee fan. My grandfather's a big-time Tennessee fan. Grew up hating Alabama, hating Florida, hating Georgia. I mean, hating anybody Tennessee plays, but you didn't like Alabama. You didn't like Florida. Those were the big two. But also, we just be watching college football on a random Saturday, and Ohio State will be on the field, and my dad will turn the channel like, I hate Ohio State. Can't stand Ohio State. Why? I just can't stand Ohio State. Don't like Ohio State. Like, all right, same thing with Miami. Oh, I can't stand Miami. Don't like Miami. There was a national championship one time. I forgot the year. Somebody in the comments will be sure to tell me. I know. But there was Ohio State versus Miami, and Dad was like, I can't even just watch this game. It's just awful. So there's always been that disdain for the Buckeyes, at least for me, right? And I don't know if that's the case for you guys as well. It's kind of like Duke in not the same situation, don't get me wrong, but like everybody kind of hates Duke in college basketball, kind of hates Duke. I kind of equate this like to Ohio State or Notre Dame would be the accurate assumption there or comparison there for Duke, but in football terms. But nonetheless, there's just not a whole lot of like there for the Ohio State, right? I'm mocking that for sure. So I'm intrigued to see how this game goes. I'm super pumped to see the environment. I'm super pumped as my alarm just goes right here. Apologies. I'm super pumped to see this environment. I'm super pumped to see how Tennessee goes about navigating this really, really tough defense. We talked about it all week long. I've said the keys and what needs to happen. But here's another one that I don't think I've mentioned a couple times. I don't think I've mentioned much this week, and I don't know why. I've written about it. I don't know why I've mentioned it on here. Vols win if fill in the blank. And more than getting pressure on the quarterback, more than running the football, more than mixing things up on defense, more than being effective, in the run game, all that and more. More than that, Vols win if you win the red zone. Old coach said it at the general's quarters, and I couldn't agree more because, again, I've already been talking about it and writing about it. You have Ohio State that of all the 12 playoff teams, number one in offensive efficiency. Once you get in the red zone on offense, they're also like number two in defensive efficiency, I do believe. I'm going to go pull up that stat real quick to make sure that it is what it is. Stat roundup. Here we go. Ohio State scoring touchdowns in the red zone, second among all playoff teams at 77.5%, meaning when you get inside the red zone, they're scoring touchdowns on 77.5% of the time, second among the college football playoff teams. Defensively, okay, they are holding opponents in the red zone. They're keeping opponents out of the end zone in the red zone 34.4% of trips. That is number one in college football playoffs. That is a really, really good stat. So offensively and defensively, Ohio State has been phenomenal in terms of touchdown percentages in the red zone. Tennessee, we know defensively, Tennessee's been good. Tennessee is allowing opponents when they reach the red zone 44.1% of the time into the end zone. That's a really, really good number. It's almost 10 more. It is 10 more than what Ohio State is allowing, but that 44.1%, good enough for second among playoff teams. So Tennessee defensively is really, really good. Offensively, it's a different story. We know that. Tennessee is scoring touchdowns in the red zone offensively 61.6% of the time, settling for field goals a lot, turning the football over too much, turning it over on downs as well. Tennessee's got to be better in that. So who has the edge on paper in terms of red zone efficiency? You would say probably Ohio State. but Tennessee, at least defensively, is right there. Who wins the red zone? Defensively, can you keep Ohio State out of the red zone more? Can you force field goals, which they're kind of in flux right now in terms of field goal kicking? They're not really sure who their field goal kicker is. Can you keep them in flux? Can you force them to attempt field goal tries and keep it out of the end zone? Tennessee, meanwhile, run Nico. Use him as a weapon inside the 20-yard line. You did it against Iowa. I think Iowa's defense last year is very comparable to what Ohio State is this year. I think Ohio State's probably better, but I think it's comparable. And Tennessee was able to use Nico in the run game and win that. Plus, Josh Heupel and Joey Halzle have had 3 weeks to kind of come up with some schemes and wrinkles and everything. I got faith in those guys. I do. Tennessee wins this football game if, again, along with winning the line of scrimmage, pressuring the quarterback, running the football, slowing down the receivers for Ohio State, Tennessee wins this football game if you win the red zone. And that, I think, is one of the biggest focal points in this football game. All right, Tennessee and Ohio State. Boogie Bentley is going to join the show for a little Locked On Talking Vols as we continue on here to get your Friday edition started of Locked On Vols. Hey, quick reminder, I mentioned this at the very end, but quick reminder, I won't be on it for the whole time, but there will be, at least the plan is, for this channel on YouTube to go live right after the game. Still working on who's going to host and everything, but I think Barrett Sallee is going to be a part of it. I think Chris Gordy is going to be a part of it. I'm going to try to zoom in for a couple of minutes, but you guys know I'll be at the stadium, covering the game and doing post-game responsibilities and all that. But there should be some type of live content right after the show is over, so check that out. I'll put the audio on the Locked On Vols channel as well, so you guys can listen to it. Of course, I will, be back on Monday, win, lose, or draw. If it allows, I will certainly try to do a little mini postcast, well after the final buzzer. But of course, we know it's going to be a late night. But check that out right here on the Locked On Vols channel. So we got Boogie Bentley coming up next right here on Locked On Vols. Appreciate you guys, and stay tuned for more. Did Rocket Money help you find any subscriptions you forgot about or that you were paying for twice? That's definitely happened to me before. I've had a few subscriptions that I didn't even realize I was still paying for, and Rocket Money made it easy to track them down. It's like having a personal assistant for your finances. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills so you can grow your savings. It brings everything together in one place, whether it's subscriptions, your spending habits, even the goals you want to hit this year. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions. Wow. Saving members up to $740 a year and using all the app's premium features. For me, the best features is that subscription tracker. I've used it to cancel services that I wasn't even using anymore. I've used it to save a ton. Plus, with their goals feature, I've been able to automatically set aside money for my future. A new house, new kid on the way. No more stressing about budgeting every single month. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/lockedon today. That is rocketmoney.com/lockedon today. rocketmoney.com/locked on. So big shout out to Rocket Money. Big shout out to our friends over at FanDuel or over at Game Time. What is Game Time? It is an app to where you can buy tickets to events in your area. It could be sporting events, could be concerts, comedy shows, whatever the case is. If you have an event in your area, you can buy tickets to it by downloading the Game Time app. Plus, when you're there, you can create an account, put in the promo code Locked On College. You're going to get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Create an account, put in the promo code Locked On College. You're going to get $20 off. Plus, you're going to check out the all-in prices where they're not going to hide any fees at checkout. You're going to know exactly what you're paying for. Plus, you can get views of your seats, so you truly do know exactly what you're paying for. They have the lowest price guarantee, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Buy tickets to the events in your area, sporting and more, by downloading the Game Time app. Put in that promo code Locked On College for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Boogie Bentley, it is finally here, man. Tomorrow, Tennessee takes on Ohio State in the college football playoffs. How you feeling right now? How you feeling? Just a little, I would say a little over 24 hours, but it's a little bit more than 24 hours because the game is at night. But how you feeling right now entering game day?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel weird. Wednesday night, you came on Talking Balls. We hung out, talked about this game. The other guys jumped on. We talked about the game. We went into our predictions. I didn't make a prediction. I still don't have a prediction. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy Josh Heupel's been talking about. That guy that, I'm just here for the cup of coffee. I'm just happy to be here. I just can't, man. This matchup is so eerily close. It's so tight. What concerns me is going on the road. And for that, I think I'm trying to fight back saying I don't like this matchup against Ohio State on the road. So I don't know. I'm anxious, man. Battered ball syndrome is real.
Well, it's funny. Like, I mean, as I told you, I think it was on your show. I've said it a couple times this week. I know I did it on this show yesterday. Again, we knew it was going to be Tennessee, Ohio State, or we thought it was going to be Tennessee, Ohio State, maybe Tennessee, Penn State at home. We'll see. But for the most part, when the matchup was set, I'm like, okay, well, it's going to be Ohio State. Ohio State's going to win this one. And then since then, you dig into the matchups and you see it's so much good on good, and who do you trust more? And I'm feeling Tennessee more. This week I felt Tennessee all week long, but I've been fighting the battle of, you're a homer, dude. Oh, you're a homer. Homer media, homer. Like, I've never been accused of wearing orange shaded glasses, right? But like this week I've been fighting that, but I honestly I can't shake this feeling, right? I feel like I trust Tennessee more. And yes, I know what you just said, on the road. And this would be going against a narrative, right? Tennessee winning the big one on the road, okay? I know the weather's going to suck, but I can't shake this feeling that Tennessee's defense will travel. Tennessee's run game's going to travel. Nico's playing his best football. Tennessee is healthier than, I know Ohio State is too, but Tennessee is healthier than it's been all season long. I just kind of have that feeling. And so for me, Boogie, this week I've been fighting dude, don't just be homer media, but I can't help it. I like Tennessee in this one, in a close one. Either way, 2 or 3 points, but I like the Vols.
So we're having this back and forth because I think I'm coming from the opposite perspective. Yeah. I'm trying to convince myself, let's ride with Tennessee. So let's open up the debate. Let's talk about this. Why? Well, look what Tennessee has done throughout the course of the season. Yeah, the defense does travel. I think there is a path to victory. And that's why I think you could easily sit here and convince me and sell me on Tennessee going and beating Ohio State.
That's what I always said against Alabama and Georgia before Tennessee started beating Alabama. I mean, can Tennessee win? Yes. There's a path for sure.
Yes.
It's not going to happen.
but look, Tennessee's played good defense. But I think if you're going to beat Ohio State, you have to be aggressive. Tennessee's been good running the football. Ohio State's going to sell out to stop that. They're going to try to make Nico beat them with his arm. I think he has played better football. We've not seen the best version of Nico yet. Do we see the best version of Nico when the stage is set? College football playoff, Tennessee making history here. Do we finally see that Nico? And then I said it on Wednesday night on my show. He has to run the football. Sell out. Play this game to win. Don't play it not to lose. That's not going to beat Ohio State. So there's a path to victory. But you still haven't convinced me that Tennessee's going to go win this football on Saturday night. You have to place a bet. I almost said something that probably gets you kicked off of YouTube. You have to put your life savings on somebody. You confident enough you're rolling with Tennessee on Saturday night?
I mean, life savings? Hell no. No chance. Because
you got to pick one or the other. You got to pick one or the other. You got to put your life savings on it.
Yeah, I mean, life savings? No, I'm going to pick life savings. I'm going to pick the team that's a 7.5 point favorite playing at home, okay? But in my game pick, I'm not putting out my life savings.
Exactly. So we got to be honest here. We got to be honest. I feel like I'm winning the debate, and everybody's going to call me a negaball, and everybody's going to say I'm an Ohio State fan.
No, I mean, you should be winning the debate. I mean, again, Tennessee is an underdog for a reason. Tennessee's playing on the road for a reason. I mean, talent-wise, we talked about on your show, talent-wise, Ohio State has a better roster. Like, 100%. Picking Ohio State is not the wrong pick. But I just, and again, this is the battle that I always play, and I'm sure you do as well. Man, I'm so close to it. Like, I know everything about Tennessee, meaning I know how good it can be. I also know all the warts. So sometimes that can kind of cloud the judgment a little bit. And so I kind of battle that all year long, but I feel like, man, I mean, Ohio State's got 2 great running backs, but they're not nearly as great as they can be because they're running behind an offensive line that's banged up. That offensive line, Tennessee's defensive line should just drill it. But hey, Tennessee should have done that to Georgia, and Tennessee didn't do that against Georgia. Good on good. I love Tennessee's corners. Ohio State's wide receivers are great. Probably still advantage Ohio State. Those guys are really, really good. Tennessee's rush defense against Ohio State's rush offense. Tennessee probably advantage there. Red zone. Ohio State's one of the best efficient red zone teams, both offensively and defensively. Tennessee, not very good on offense, but very good on defense. Third down defense, again, it's good. I mean, they're 1, 2, 7, 8. I mean, they're right next to each other and all these different things. So typically, you give the advantage to the home team. But I'm not going to do it here, Boogie. I feel like this is one of them games that's a program mover in terms of, okay, Tennessee's not only back, because I define back as competing for championships, and Tennessee's doing that right now. You are putting yourself as one of the premier teams in college football with a win here in the first round, and you're playing in Pasadena in the Rose Bowl on New Year's Day. I think it's going to be a big weekend for this program. I truly do. Now, Boogie, if that's going to be the case, how do you do it? How does Tennessee win this game?
You got to dance with the one that brung you, right? Like I was thinking about it before we jumped on here. I was like, I know he's going to ask me this question, and I've been saying it all week. Dance with the one that brung you. But maybe, just maybe, this is a little bit bigger occasion. Maybe we're going to prom, so she got to do a little something special. She got to break out that special dress. She got to do something a little extra. So dance with the one that brung you. Lean on this defense, but this is why I can't get across the hump. And you're not doing anything to convince me and get me across this hump for Tennessee. But there is the path to victory. Run the football. Be who you are. Get Dylan Sampson going. But let's do a little something extra. Let's get Nico. Man, I think Nico running the football is going to open this up even more. And we know that's the game plan, right? And listening to you talk, it's comical because you said it. Well, I feel like we just went back. I feel like we're back in Georgia week. Can we just play Locked On Talking Vols from the Georgia week? Just let it roll, and you can go in and edit Ohio State when we say Georgia, because that's what this looks like. Get pressure on the quarterback. Banged up offensive line, like the blueprint's there. I think, yes, Ohio State's wide receivers are the best wide receivers that we faced all year. I think our corners can hang with them. I think you can put Jermon McCoy out there on an island, and he's going to do what he does. This is an opportunity to sit in that locker room and say, you want a shot at the NFL? You want to play big boy football? The stage is set. Go out, win your one-on-ones, win your matchups. But you look at the history. You look at the last season all year long. Well, if we don't put it together for 60 minutes, we're not going to beat Alabama. Oh, wait, we beat Alabama. If we don't put it for 60 minutes, we're not going to beat Florida. We're not going to beat Vanderbilt. I heard it all year long. And now here we sit, college football playoff, everything on the line. If we don't go out and execute for 60 minutes, we're not going to beat Ohio State. Will they do it? Can they put it together? Do they have to put it together? You've still not sold me that Tennessee's going to beat Ohio State on Saturday night.
And see, I disagree with that notion. Like, I don't think Tennessee has to play perfect. I don't think Tennessee has to play 60 minutes to win this game. Now, I mean, could you make it easy on yourself and do that? Absolutely. But football's an imperfect game, right? And yes, Ohio State is going to be much more talented than Vanderbilt or Florida. Florida turned into be a pretty good ball club. I'm going to give Billy Napier his flowers just for a slight second here on this show. Everybody left in for dead, and he saved his job, and he's got something special in Lagway. So the way Florida finished, Tennessee obviously played them at the beginning of the season, which was good. I'm not saying Florida would have beat Tennessee, but Florida turned it around. But anyway, Ohio State's going to be much better than Vanderbilt, better than Florida, better than Alabama. But Tennessee has shown that you can muddy the game up. Okay, you can, find different ways, play complementary football. Yes, it's a real thing. I hear you, fans, and pissed off about Butch Jones. I hear you, but it's a real thing. And Tennessee's shown that they can win in a number of different ways. So that's what I like about this. I know Ohio State's got some explosives in the return game. I mean, Tennessee does too with Boot Carter, man. Nobody wants to punt to Boot Carter right now. Josh Tuberville boots it through the end zone 87% of the time. Why doesn't he do it 100% of the time? Mike Eckler only knows. It's like Tennessee's punt coverage unit's been really, really good this year. Who's going to make the game in the other third of the contest? We'll find out. I don't know. I guess at the end of the day, I can't. Whoever sings this song, I can't shake this feeling. I got that feeling, and we'll see what happens. I think like what you said. If Tennessee's going to win, dance with who you brought, run the football, build off that with play action, get that tempo going, Boogie, because I think tempo is a huge thing in this. But you can only run tempo, and you can only smack Ohio State in the face with it if you win the early downs, if you get first downs, if you're able to sustain drives, because that's when tempo is at its best. Tennessee has been running tempo, and Tennessee's going to do everything they can to be a fast football team. How much can that make a difference in this game?
Yeah, I think it's key in it, but it's a two-edged sword, right? When you win first down, you talked about this Wednesday night on my show, you win first down, that sets this offense up to get going. And I think it helps get Nico in a rhythm too. When you're moving fast and you're not thinking and you're just go playing football, it helps. But when you lose first down. And then you come out and you just run it up the middle, and now you got 3rd and long. Now Nico has to sit back, and you have to be able to protect him. I think you can live and die by going quick. But I love you talk about muddying the game. Who thought when Josh Heupel was hired that we were going to be sitting here in year 4 talking about a college football playoff and saying this team can muddy up the game, get dirty, get gritty? I mean, that seems to be the narrative that's floating around here is for Tennessee to win. It's got to be a close, low-scoring game. Who had that on their bingo card when Josh Heupel stood up there and said, we're going to play up-tempo, high-octane, fun, explosive football? And it's like, that's not what this team has been all year. But can they be? Can they finally click? Like, can it click this late on offense and put it all together? You're starting to convince me. We're about to go into the last segment of the show. You may get me there. You may get me there in segment 3.
I love it. It's like Tennessee was 8-0, or excuse me, Tennessee I guess was 8-1 and 7-1, 9-1. It's like, well, Tennessee won, but they didn't look good doing it. It's like,
yes.
Do you want Tennessee to win and be in position for championships, or do you want them to lose and score 45 points? I mean, pick your poison here. It's like, just appreciate the win and enjoy it.
I want to get on a soapbox on that. Can I get on a soapbox to start segment 3 with that?
Go ahead. Go. It's you. Go right now.
That was kind of the conversation all year long. Like you said, one loss. I get it. It's on the road to Arkansas, and it's easy to look back now and say, man, look where we would have been. We would have been in Atlanta. You beat Arkansas on the road. If you told me before the season, all you got to do to get to Atlanta is beat Arkansas on the road. Okay, maybe I do put the life savings on that one. So we had that one loss all year long, but you still had your goals in front of you. You still had an opportunity to go beat Georgia and get to Atlanta the hard way. And it's like, I feel like people are like, oh, it's just not good enough. And something I've said a lot on my channel is there were some comments coming in saying, hey, I'm ready for basketball. This team sucks. They're not any good. I'm ready to move on to a different sport. And
you're on the wrong channel, my friend.
Like, what are you doing? We have an opportunity for a college football playoff. Now flip over to Ohio State, right? 3 11-win seasons in a row. 3 11-win seasons in a row. But because you've not beat Michigan in 40, and I get it. Expectations change. But you got Ryan Day on the hot seat. You got fans, some of them, and it's a vocal minority out there saying, we need to get rid of Ryan Day. We got to fire Ryan Day. Like, don't let us ever become that fan base. And I feel like we were close. We saw it with Alabama. And maybe a lot of the Alabama fans during the Saban era, maybe they were little fair weather bandwagon fans. But you wanted to get rid of Nick Saban when he's winning 10, 11, 12 games, national championships, SEC championships. I get it. Expectations change, but let us not become that fan base. It's insane that Ohio State has 3 11-win seasons in a row, and they're ready to run their coach out of town. Crazy.
It is that time of the year. The college football playoff is back, and with the new expanded 12-team format, it's guaranteed to be bigger and better than ever, bringing you all the hard-hitting and high-flying excitement that you love. TNT Sports coverage of the college football playoff begins December 21st, starting with the college football playoff kickoff show presented by AT&T. That's at 11 o'clock Eastern Time. Leading into our first matchup, SMU against Penn State at noon. Then the Clemson Tigers take on the Texas Longhorns at a showdown at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. Don't miss a moment of the action. Watch the college football playoff presented by Allstate live on TNT, True TV, TBS, and Max. Man, the college football playoffs are finally here, and you can watch it all on TNT, ABC, Max, and so much more. Okay, do want to give a shout out to our friends over at Home Field Apparel, the exclusive apparel sponsor of Locked On Vols. Football season, it's here. It's cold. You can be decked out to the nines in vintage college apparel for your Tennessee Volunteers in the shoe this weekend, thanks to Home Field Apparel. If you took advantage of those football boxes from the Can't Miss 2024 campaign, you saw bomber jackets, you saw never-before-seen items that Tennessee fans have been purchasing, gear that's curated for all weather conditions, because it's been raining here in Knoxville this week, but it is going to be frigid cold in Columbus this weekend. Plus, that VIP koozie came in the Platinum VIP box with new releases all season long, guaranteeing fans 20% off early access to Tennessee football releases. Again, Home Field is a premium collegiate apparel brand based in Indianapolis, focusing on creating incredibly comfortable, officially licensed apparel with vintage college designs. If you haven't seen some of those vintage designs from Home Field on Tennessee, Pride of Southland Marching Band, Vol Navy, checkerboard, so much more, check it out. It's beautiful. There's a wide range available of colleges, but we're talking about Tennessee right now. You can check out the vintage college designs of the Tennessee Volunteers at homefieldapparel.com. That is homefieldapparel.com to go ahead and get started today. And I mean, I've talked with a lot of Ohio State people the last 3 weeks. I mean, legitimately like frustrated, like upset, like if he goes and tries to call plays in the NFL, they're not going to be upset. Like it's to that point. I'm like, man, that's wild. I'm not making excuses for him. You got to win that game. Like you come in, it's like number one, you beat Michigan. Number two, you win championships. Like you got to win that game. But goodness gracious, Boogie, I do want to ask you: Michigan, Ohio State, or App State, Georgia Southern? Bigger rivalry.
You got to go App State, Georgia Southern. Look, man, we have an EA Sports College Football Dynasty over there at Talking Vols, a Patreon group. They come in. We compete against each other. App State, Georgia Southern just played that game this week. We took it to them. That's a big-time rivalry on the big stage, man, on the big stage.
The rivalry known as Deeper Than Hate, Georgia Southern and your Appalachian State Mountaineers.
Wow, I can't believe you did that to me.
Of course I did that to you. All right, man. So we talked a lot about the offense and everything for Tennessee defensively, trying to defend the trio of quartet of wide receivers. I know Brandon Innes hadn't done much on the stat sheet, but he's a really, really good fourth receiver. How does Tennessee defend that? Because I mean, here's the thing. Like I had Barrett Lee on the other day, and some of the listeners were frustrated because he continued to say like, Jermon McCoy's great. Jeremiah Smith's going to win that battle. I'm like, sure, yeah, Jeremiah Smith's going to win some of those battles. McCoy's going to win some too. Ohio State's going to get theirs. Tennessee at points in times will get theirs. But for me, it's about slowing it down. It's about making a key play in a big situation. How does Tennessee slow down that offense where it's a battered and bruised offensive line, especially in the interior? It's NFL talent at the perimeter. It's NFL talent in the backfield. And it's a manager at quarterback that if you don't pressure him, he can pick you apart, just like I think I said on your show the other night, just like Graham Mertz could back in 2023.
Or even like in the Georgia game, man. Like this, it's the same conversation we had in Georgia. Like, don't let him sit back there and pick you apart. Get aggressive. Like I would much rather you be aggressive, dial up pressure, get after the quarterback, and Jermon McCoy loses a one-on-one, or Boo Carter gets beat in the slot. Like that's the matchup my eyes are on. I get it. The big time NFL matchup, Smith versus McCoy. Obviously, it's going to be fun to watch. What concerns me as a Tennessee fan is Boo Carter in the slot. Is he ready for that stage?
With Buka, yeah.
He's been a great. I mean, Boo Carter's been great as a freshman, but he's also struggled at times as a freshman. Boo Carter's only going to continue to get better for Tennessee. That's where I'm looking. But for me, to stop the passing attack, it starts with the line of scrimmage. Win the line of scrimmage, get after the quarterback, create pressure. Like when Tim Banks' defense, I've said this all year. I said it all year last year. When he gets conservative and starts dropping guys, that's when Tennessee struggles. What's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen? You get beat? Well, guess what? When you sit back, you play soft, you get beat that way too. But statistically, you look at what Ohio State does on offense, they're not as good running the football as Tennessee is. So I think you can force them. You talk about Tennessee needs to win first down on offense. They need to win first down on defense. Put them in situations where their quarterback, it's a pin your ears back and let's go get after the quarterback. I think that is the key to start it. Yeah, they got electric wide receivers, but let's win in the trenches and don't give them an opportunity. Man,
oh man, it's one of the football games. I think you might have said it on Wednesday. Like I'd run Nico. I had a conversation with something I do that comes out on game day every single week I had a conversation with an assistant coach that airs on the Vol Radio Network. I do this little 90-second interview every single game, and I'm not going to say who the coach was because I don't want to, this Vol Network stuff. But anyway, it's an offensive coach, and I essentially said, hey, last game of the year, don't hold anything back, right? And they're like, I mean, yeah, pretty much. Like, there's no guarantee for tomorrow. So if it's in, be ready to run it. Like, so in that sense, it's like, look what Nico did against Iowa. I love the design quarterback run. Should Tennessee live in the design quarterback run? No. But should Tennessee on 3rd and 4 do it? Heck yeah. On 3rd and goal from the 7, design quarterback run? Shoot, yeah, man. It's an extra blocker out there, and it's a guy that can run the football. So that, along with tempo, along with Sam, I mean, this offense is being kind of more complete. I think there's going to be some 12 personnel. I'm intrigued to see how healthy Squirrel White is. I think the receivers are going to go. It's going to be one of them games, man. Going to be one of them games. All right, safe to say, Boogie, you have Tennessee covering. You don't have to give me your score prediction just yet. I'll ask for that literally in 30 seconds. Tennessee covering the 7.5.
Yeah, I think it's a close game. I think that entire spread is because Tennessee's going on the road. If this game's in Neyland Stadium, I'm picking Tennessee 10 times out of 10. Not even batting an eye. Like Josh Heupel in Neyland Stadium is different than Josh Heupel on the road in a hostile environment. It's going to be hostile. I know the ticket takeover and all that type of stuff, and that's fun. That place is going to be rowdy on Saturday night. I don't think there's any ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Safe to say you're going to take the under at 46.5.
You know what I want to say? I want to go against the grain. I want to go against what everybody else is saying. And for Tennessee to win this game, the offense has to be clicking. I'm not ready to take the over because give me the over. Hammer the over, Cain, or put the life savings on the over. Nico's going to be unleashed. Nico's going to run the football. Why not? Like, if they don't run Nico, I will lose my mind post-game show. I will lose you got nothing to lose. I feel like at times this coaching staff, and I've never said this about Josh Heupel, he coached not to lose instead of coaching to win multiple times throughout the course of this season. Give him credit for winning that Oklahoma game that way. He may have got you beat against Arkansas.
I mean, the conversation in the offseason, I get it, but come on now, Boogie. At Oklahoma, he was like, man, I got 2 backup tackles in there. I've already strip sack fumbled twice. We survived that. I got Dylan Sampson. He's a daggum All-American. Let me just run this game. Let me just run the football and play defense, and let's get out of here with it. I mean, come on, man.
It's a beautiful thing when it works, but what happens when you lose to Arkansas?
Well, I mean, I just think Tennessee was awful against Arkansas. I thought Tennessee didn't make any adjustments. That was my whole rant after the Arkansas game. It's like, dude, you come out in the third quarter and you go back-to-back right down the field and score touchdowns, and then you go back to your same old stuff. No motion, nothing like that. It's like you made no adjustments. Anyway, if Tennessee can lean on that defense, on that run game, and find a way to win, sign me up. But I'm with you, man. I mean, of course you want to see Nico. I mean, you want to see those explosives. Play action pass, I think, is going to be huge. It was so big for Tennessee all year long, but it was specifically big for Nico's 4 touchdown passes at Vanderbilt a couple weeks ago. All right, so here it is, Boogie. Have I convinced you? It's not my job to convince you, but you know where I'm at. Where you at, man? Where you at? This is Friday morning. I know you're going live on Talking Vols, and I know you got a pregame show, so maybe you're still not ready to make that prediction. That's okay, but how's this going to play out? If you got a prediction, let's hear it.
We've laid out the path. You've gave me the reasons, and all the reasons that you give me, I say, does Tennessee actually do that? Do they get after the quarterback? Does Nico keep some of those read options and run the football? If he pulls it, man, not only does it set up play action, it's going to free up Dylan Sampson even more. We saw so many guys crash off the edge because they know that there is no way that Nico's pulling it and keeping it. So when you start pulling a couple and you start keeping them honest, guess what? We're already playing the numbers game. We're winning the numbers game in the box. That's what Josh Heupel does. Now when you pull another defender out of that box because you got to stay honest with Nico, Dylan Sampson's going to eat. So the path is there to run the football and this offense to get clicking and firing on all cylinders. They're banged up on the offensive line. Get after the quarterback. But I am still not sure who I'm picking to win this game. If you're an everydayer and you're watching this at 8 o'clock in the morning or it's midnight, you've been counting down, watching on YouTube, you can jump on over to the Talking Vols Network, 10 a.m. Me, Coach Jay, Coach Rice. Maybe I'll give my prediction on that Friday morning live show.
I meant to coward. Okay. I'm just kidding. I meant to I know you got to go, but I meant to say this earlier. I know you do this when you got a good thing to talk about and then it just you lose it, then you got to like tap dance and try to figure something else out to say on a live show.
So just say that and then just go into it. You just told me how to do it. Now I know how to do that when that's going through my head. All right, great.
I think Tennessee's interior. I think Tennessee needs to load up the interior defensive tackles. They need to loop. I mean, sometimes they do that thing where Pierce stands up over the center. I mean, do that all day. Center's not good, okay? Left guard, it sounds to me like they're going to start a backup at left guard who's never started before. That would be their 5th starter at left guard. Their right guard has started every single game this year, but Ryan Day's comments this week has basically been saying, like, hey, it's not good enough. We're going to have a 3-man rotation, and then they're going to have a guy that's swinging back and forth. So the interior, man, load that up. Does Ohio State try to combat that by going a lot of sweeps, jet sweeps, outside zone, stuff like that? Edwin Spillman, I think, though inexperienced, if Ohio State does that in the run game, pivots to that in the run game to try to get out of the tackle box, Edwin Spillman is going to be a weapon for Tennessee because that dude can run. He lacks experience. He's going to be really, really good. But it's just like, hey, see ball, go hit ball, go run. And you'd rather have Edwin Spillman in that situation than Jalen Smith. Anyway, I thought that earlier. I wanted to get that out there. I'm pumped. I cannot wait, Boogie. And, again, you guys are on the air right now, Friday morning, okay? And then you're going to have a tailgate show. I would assume, you guys going to go post-game show in the middle of the night?
Yeah, I don't care if it's 2 o'clock in the morning. We're going live immediately following the game. And then hopefully Tennessee takes care of business. We're going to do our fan call-in show on Sunday. We'll figure out a schedule with you. You said it on my show Wednesday. I'm going to say it here. I don't want to stop talking football. I want to keep talking football. Sign me up for Tennessee, Oregon in the Rose Bowl. What a freaking matchup that would be.
Man, Man, Pasadena? Like, come on, dude. Hey, handle business. I'd much rather be in Columbus than Pasadena than Columbus. Handle business. Let's see what happens.
This is how crazy I am. If they beat Ohio State, I don't know that I'm picking them to lose. At a neutral site against Oregon, I like that game. Bring me the Oregon Ducks.
This is the path. We've talked about that. This is the hardest path for sure. So, I mean, Oregon sucks to be the number one team in the country, right?
What a joke, man. What a joke.
All right. You got to get out of here. You got to go get a haircut or
that's what you're doing, bro.
I don't know what you got to do.
I'm old. My back hurts. I have to go to the chiropractor.
For carrying the team, Boogie. Carrying the team on your back. All right, Boogie. Appreciate you, man.
Enjoyed it.
That was Boogie Bentley of the Talking Vols Network. Always catch up with him on Fridays during football season, and hopefully we will catch up with him once again next week if Tennessee pulls off this winner at Ohio State in Columbus at the Shoe, or as Maps would tell you, Neyland North. All right, boys and girls, friends and foes, Fall fans and Buckeye fans who are in here just to troll, here we are. Saddle up. It's almost game time. Tennessee and Ohio State. Wow. I go back to 2021. It's like that Paul Rudd thing. It's like, look at us now. Could you believe it? I couldn't, or whatever he says. I mean, it's incredible. But that does not mean you're just happy to be here, as Boogie would say. Not just here to have a cup of coffee. Go win this thing. Tennessee's good enough to win this thing. Will it? Let's find out, man. Let's find out. Here's to extending college football season another week. Appreciate you guys as always. Reminder: there will be some type of post game show on the YouTube channel. I won't be hosting it. I hope to be a part of it because I'll be in Columbus, kind of covering the game. But some friends of the Locked On Podcast Network and some other hosts are going to be joining on there. So there will be some type of content again after the show. So be on the lookout for that. Appreciate you guys as well. If you are going to Columbus, stay safe. Find me, say hello, bundle up, stay warm, and wear that orange. This is Locked On Vols.